Hello everyone, I'm Minnie. Welcome to my graduate design Say Hello to Self. It is basically a project about self-interview. I put all story into 5 episodes to the fact. The first one is Say Hello to Past Self. In the first episode, I discussed about the self-talk, for the reason I start to do it, for how I do self-talk, for the result I get from self-talk. By this episode, I would like to let my users know about the initial version of self-interview, self-talk. I also mentioned some additional benefits, includes I found my violin, which I thought I lost. I also remember of my neighbor, Grandma O. I asked my parents to try to find her, and they made it. They finally found a lady who gives me a lot of care and warmth. Without self-talk, I don't know when I'm going to remember this. Maybe I cannot find her then. In the second episode, Say Hello to Little Self. In this episode, my friend Ushio is the protagonist. She inspired me about there are so much celebrities, film stars, idols, and even internet celebrities. All of them have so much followers, and they cares about how celebrities feeling and thinking. But I want to use this episode to make my users consider about try to care about themselves.
Well, welcome. This is your first time here. What made you want to write this?
What do you feel is the best decision you've ever made?
Why don't you move here? Then you'd have a bigger place.
What was your COVID peculiar?
So that must be really hard for you. I mean, do you see yourself, do you think you'll ever get back together? Is that a hope for you?
Who were you most excited to meet?
Now, what are you looking for? What do you like in a guy? Do you like it here? What do you do when you're here? And how have you prepared for that?
What was the key, do you feel?
I just feel like if that's really what you want, but you're doing okay, we're concerned that you're, happy and...
Achievements in the game so far are you most proud of?
Not an easy thing to do, so how did you do that?
Who is your favorite talk show host? Me.
I cut some video shots about the hosts asking questions to them. Try to answer their questions when you're watching interview videos. It will be interesting. In the third episode, Say Hello to Lost Self, I record the story about recently I started to be unhappy again. So I started to interview myself. This is the new version of self-talk. Not like before, I discussed my daily life with myself, but now I'm raising questions to another me. Let she answer my confusing. In my publication, I described the difference between those two. Self-talk doesn't need to obey a way or through some order. Self-interview is a way to questioning and doubting ourselves. It is asking for an answer, but not only a story. Self-talk is a car without any destination, but self-interview is a train and always on the way to deeper inside. Here is a video I discussing what is self-interview with my inner self. She gave me some answer of her understanding.
So the first question is, what is self-interview? I think self-interview is a system way to doubting yourself, and through this way you could understand yourself. You can know what you are thinking about, what you are worried about, and how do you like or not one thing. Yeah, that's a way to understand yourself. Who is the person doing self-interview? Actually, we are not self-interview. It's you interview me, right? Is that ID, ego, super ego, something like that? No, that's Freud's way. That's not my way. I think, for me, the difference between us is you live and I think. So, you are the person who experienced each moment in the reality and facing to the bad thing, good thing, to facing to the pressure, it's difficult, and communicate to the outside world. But me, I was the person who only do one thing, that's thinking, considering about everything you experienced, and try to raise questions and figure out what kind of person do you think they need to self-interview. I don't think everyone needs self-interview. I think those persons who are missing in the reality, and those who want to know how do they think about something, who want to understand themselves, especially for those people who don't like themselves. They need to do self-interview.
In the 5th episode, Say Hello to Interviewing Self, this is the guidance manual I prepared for users. Here is some suggestions for my user to try self-interview, and I raise different questions as examples for users as a reference. I sent out some invitation to some of my friends, and I received some feedback.
我自己在几周前参加了一个舞蹈工作室，在这个舞蹈工作室里，我偶遇了我初中时期的班长。
The first participant named Yufi, she described a story about she met her junior high school classmates by chance. That day she didn't put on any makeup, but she thought she had changed a lot after graduated from junior high school. She is so surprised about her classmates could recognize her after 9 years. She felt a little bit unhappy because she thought she was unimpressive that time, and she focuses on her appearance recent year. She wears contact lenses now instead of wearing glasses. She cut her long hair to an afro hair. She asked herself why she feels upset because of this. Her answer is, I thought I hid myself well in my junior high school, and I expect nobody remember me impressive look and my silly past, as I never appear in this world.
I used to have a dream. I want to be a car designer. It all begins with a magazine that my parents bought me during my childhood. I think it's in the kindergarten period. During that time, I always in the hospital and just can't go to the school to have really play with other child, do what others doing, playing outside, like doing sports, exercise. And my parents bought me some toys and a magazine. It's really strange because...
The second participant is my friend Charlie. He described the story about his dream in his high school. He wants to be a car designer that time, but he found his color weakness on a medical examination, so he lost the qualification of art examination and cannot apply for any arts university. He had to give up his dream. He went to a university and studied in a major he disliked, and he confused about the future. He quit from her university and went to Japan to continue his study, but he failed in examination and cannot enter his target university for 2 years. In these 6 years, his obsession is he felt every day is boring and meaningless. He felt he lost the expectation and yearning for life. He found the reason is always he didn't finish his dream because of unsolvable problem. But these 2 years, he got the possibility to chase his dream. It is not impossible anymore. He could raise his passion again to finish his dream.
If my mother is a good mom or a bad mom, for me, my answer is she is a good mother, because it's very exhausted for her to raise me since I was a child because she's all by her alone.
The third participant is my friend Seven. She described the story about her mother. She said there had been a long tug of war between her and her mother. When she was growing up, her mother arranged Seven's life, what interests she should cultivate, what kind of high school and university she should attend, what kind of job she should choose. She thinks her mother doesn't care about her feeling but just give things she thinks good. In the records, she found out that she doesn't hate her mother but just want more free to choose her life. Actually, she can understand her mother, and she also thinks her mother is a good mother. After I received their records, I interviewed them for the feedback. So all of them like self-interview, and they think self-interview helped them today. Also, they would like to do self-interview again, which makes me very happy. And also, they all said they get benefits from self-interview more or less. So they think they can cut the hole in their own words and try to ask themselves for the reason and motivation. They are digging themselves more and more. But two of them think my manual is helpful but not helpful enough to them to try self-interview because the question they raised cannot be found in my manual. So they think I should put more questions and topic into my manual to help others to try self-interview on their love topic. Yuffie suggested I could add a suggestion about how to raise questions for past experience. But for me, past experience is a little bit complex question to interview ourselves because there are too many possibilities and too many parts could be extended in past experience this topic. So I think for starters, easier topic will be a good choice to them to start to try this self-interview. But I find past experience is really a good topic to do self-interview because today's are built up by the past experience. A lot of thoughts, a lot of feeling can be found the reason in the past experience. So I think I could add this problem into my manual and spread it on the internet and my social media. I hope by this way more and more people can heal in themselves by themselves. This presentation is my graduate works. This is also the last time I present my work to you. 2020 may be the hardest year in these 20 years to everyone, but I still think all the time I spent with you guys and here is such an unforgettable and fabulous memory. So the subheading here is Goodbye Utopia, and I will summon up courage and try my best to face to the future with optimism. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.